What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. New video. Today, this is a different video. Uh, Not too long ago, I did a video with Big Mike from Chicano Style Bikers. And we actually did two videos and a live together. Big Mike from Chicano Style Bikers was a very good hearted individual. He was always very open and welcoming with me. He was in the California Youth Authority at the same time as me, or around the same time. We were actually in Paso and YA together. He was just, I believe he was in fire camp. So we didn't run into each other. But I conversed with him on several occasions personally, on the phone and through DMs. And he was fighting. He wasn't feeling good, and he went to the doctor, and they said that he had stage 4 cancer, esophageal cancer, I believe it was. And he asked me, how, I want to do a podcast. How do I do it? Even when he was sick, he wanted, because I had said, and I'll say it again right now. It's important that I think everyone should do at least one video on social media, on YouTube, whatever. And that way, when your loved ones are feeling down, or they're missing you, or they've never, maybe, generations down, they hear about you, but they don't know what your smile looks like. They don't know what your laugh sounds like. They don't know your mannerisms. Well, if you're on YouTube, they'll be able to go to that. And somebody said, oh, you act like YouTube's going to be around forever. No, I don't. Social media will, though. And they go from platform to platform. Your loved ones aren't going to let if say YouTube's going to shut down, well, then you download the videos. Like I just downloaded this one that I'm going to attach to this. And you move it to a different platform. Well, Big Mike did that, thankfully. Unfortunately, Big Mike just recently lost his battle with cancer. And he has passed on. I will say this, and I don't want to get all preachy, to each their own, right? But I had talked to him about God, and he said he didn't believe in God. And I told him, everyone that says that, when they're dying, if they're lucky, they have a conversation with God before they go. And I'm glad to say that I read a post by Mike's wife that Mike did accept God and ask for forgiveness prior to passing. And I know that brings peace to his family. For those of you that don't believe in that, to each their own, but let's at least be respectful. I respect that. And so today, this video is not going to be me. This is just an introduction. I'm going to attach this to the last video I did with Mike. Unfortunately, we don't have the live up, and I feel bad for that because we had music playing, and Gunner and I were like, we'll try to get him on again if he's up to it, and we didn't get to. I'm gonna have the link to the GoFundMe. I want you guys to understand something. I'm not trying to get into Mike's family's business, but I want you guys to just know this. Mike's wife lost her son very recently, and now she's lost her husband. I believe it was her son. And now she's lost her husband. These are very, very expensive burdens. And, I personally have donated money. We did a live with Mike, and we got, or for Mike, and we got him almost $1,000. But anyone who has lost someone and had to bury someone, you know how expensive it is. So anybody who can, the link will be in the description of the video. Go to the GoFundMe and donate, man. My condolences to Mike's family, his loved ones, and his friends. Luckily, Mike made a bunch of videos for everybody to go back and watch. And I ask that you guys go over there, man, and give some kind words to his family. That's my video, man. Hopefully you guys enjoy the video. Imagine having an expiration date and pretty much knowing it. How would you respond? Would you respond with the courage that Mike shows or showed? Everybody, please be safe, be smart, and make sure you tell the ones you love that you love them, man. I'm out of here. What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. New video. I forgot to set up the gunshot, so you guys gonna have to bear with me. Today on the channel, and I'm gonna try to get this out tonight, by the way. Today we have Big Mike from Chicano Style Bikers. Please subscribe to the channel. I have it right here under my name on the screen. I also have it scrolling on the bottom. Big Mike has an interesting story. You know, I've said before that anyone that you know, YouTube is basically, they turn us into a vampire. And what I mean by that is we're immortal. Once you've posted something on YouTube, once you post something to social media, it's there forever. And this is a case where I'm going to let Mike tell his story, but, you know, his children, grandchildren, all the way down the line will be able to know his voice, his laugh, the way he talked, the way he thought, you know. And this, you know, me personally, you know, I don't say this often, but when I think of the person I've got incarcerated for killing, you know, I often wonder, does his son even know what his dad's laugh sounded like? Because back then it was not common for people to videotape, because back then you had to have a camcorder, you know what I mean? And so that's why I've always said, when I've said that, that's why, because I think of my victim's son. But anyways, I'm going to let Mike introduce himself and take it away.
Yeah, so my name is Mike Cruz. I grew up in the LA Harbor area. I now reside out here in Empire. And I'd say it's been this November would be 2 years that I was diagnosed with esophageal cancer. I've been on chemotherapy since January 2022. So it's been, you know, it's been about 1.5 years. So I started a YouTube channel myself because exactly what he had said. I have like grandparents. I don't remember what they sounded like, even though they died in the 90s. I forgot what my grandmother's voice sounded like, or her laugh, or any of that kind of stuff. So I figured, you know, when they told me that I had stage 4 cancer, I figured, hey, you know, I better do something that my kids, my grandkids, even my wife, my parents, you know what I mean? When, you know, when that time comes, you know what I mean? You know, years from now, they'll be able to look back and say, okay, let's go look at his videos and we'll see remember what he sounded like. Or, you know, even if it's a grandkid or a great grandkid can go back and look at the videos and see the story that I tell, not just about the cancer, but also about the way I was living as a young person, you know what I mean? And maybe they'll learn something from it, you know what I mean? Or they're going through some tough times in their life. They can go back and look and learn something from one of these videos and how I was living my life and how I, you know, how to change things, you know what I mean? So it started, you know, once I was diagnosed with the cancer. And so, you know, like I said, I've been dealing with it now for 1.5 years. And it's I don't know, I'm used to it now. You know, I'm used to I don't know what normal feels like anymore. I'm used to feeling like shit every day, or sick, tired, you know what I mean? I'm used to taking medication every day, you know, and so, you know, I've been going through for a while now. And then, you know, like I was telling Dubs a minute ago before we started, you know, I went and did a PET scan today. And just, you know, every once in a while you got to do a PET scan. And I did a PET scan today, And I already went into this doctor's appointment knowing most likely what the outcome is going to be, because they told me from the very beginning. And so, right now they're debating on what they're going to do with me as far as more treatment, surgery, or radiation. But neither one of them is going to save me. That's just pretty
Mhm.
much what she's saying. You know what I mean? It's like,
Prolonging it, right?
we're prolonging your life as long as we possibly can. You know what I mean? And they're saying, well, if the surgeon says he can live longer by having surgery, then we'll do it. But if they're saying, hey, the surgery is not going to do nothing for him, then they're either like, what's the use of you even doing the surgery and
Mhm.
putting yourself through it? Because they're gonna have to cut out my esophagus and
Mm.
parts of my stomach and shit like that. You know what I mean? So they're saying, if it's not gonna work, then why would you different out and everything?
And
I look
and
at things like, hey, nobody's gonna live forever. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And I had a couple homies over here a little while ago, and I was telling him about it, and I said, you know what? Once you hit a certain age, your body starts to decline.
Mhm.
So for everybody, like I told him, I said, you're dying right now too, and you don't even know it. You're dying little by little every single day.
Mhm.
It's just I'm dying in a different way. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But this could have been prevented if I would have went to the doctor when I got sick
Mhm.
8 months before I went. It
Mm.
probably could have been prevented. I got caught at stage 4. So once you hit stage 4, the only thing you can do from there is terminal. Terminal, they can't do
Mhm.
nothing for you. So I got it caught it at stage 4, and so it's like the the percentage of people that live with this form of cancer, which is like a very rare form of cancer,
Mhm.
they usually only 20% will survive it, and that's up to 5
Mm.
years. You know what I
Mm.
mean? So even the doctor today said, maybe if he does surgery, he might last another 5 years, but that's a maybe. You know what I mean? And so
That's real quick, Spencer. That's a maybe, but it's also what is the quality of life? Because you don't know
yeah,
what the quality of life is. You know what where you're at right now, and once people, any surgery, it doesn't matter what it is. There's the risk of infection. There's a lot of things that can happen. So that's something that I know you and your family are gonna have to really sit down and discuss. And man, I mean, I just want to make sure that people see the strength of this man, because imagine going to the doctor and being told something like that, man. That's it's a lot, But go ahead.
yeah. For me, it's like I've said it before. Some of you people might watch my videos. I know there's some people that follow me that also follow Dubs. But for people that don't, if you go back and look at my videos, I've been I say that I've been prepared for this shit for a long time. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Because the way that I grew up, as far as the
Hmm.
street stuff goes and doing shit like that, you know what I mean? When I was a kid, you were prepared to die for the streets and shit that you believed in. You know what I mean? And then because me and I listen to your stories, and me and you have the uh, it's very close to the upbringing. You know what I mean? As
Hmm.
far as with your mother and your father, I was going through the same shit. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And trying to stay out of the house as a kid because I was going to get my ass whooped if I stayed around the
Yes.
house. So I got out of the house early, got on my bike, and I was gone. And I
Hmm.
wouldn't come home until it was time to eat and time to go to bed because I didn't want to get
Hmm.
my ass whooped for no reason. You know what I mean? I was constantly
Yeah.
going through that abuse as a kid. And then there was a time in my life as a kid where there was outside of the house where there was molestation, but I couldn't say nothing to nobody because I didn't know what was going to happen to me. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So I kept that shit to myself and didn't say nothing about it. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So all these things that we go through when we grow up on the streets and shit like that, we become this was it desensitized towards things, and I'm ready to die at a young age. I'm ready to die.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So that's how I grew up. I didn't care. You know what I mean? So I always tell people like I'm born for this shit. I was raised for this to do this kind of fight because really didn't value my life as a young person. You know what I mean? And so I'm not afraid of dying. Other people are afraid of dying, or they are afraid that the world's gonna go on without them. It's like that for everybody. But I'm
Hmm.
not afraid. It's like, hey, whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. That what will be will be. There's nothing I can do about
Hmm.
it. You know what I mean? All I can do is worry about what's going on right now. And I keep telling people, I'm still here right now. I'm
Yeah.
still alive right now. You know what I mean? I'm not sick. People look at me like, you have
Mhm.
cancer? You have stage 4 cancer? Like, yeah, I have cancer,
Mhm.
but I don't live that way. Like, I'm feeling sad for myself and shit. You know what I mean? I get up and go to work every day. I got to make money to take care of my wife and my house and stuff.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So,
Well,
um,
I want to just interrupt real quick and say, to me, that's remarkable, and I'm going to tell you why. Because I grew up, like you said, we had a similar, upbringing. And I too, I was ready to die at all time, but that's a different type of death. We don't see it coming. I don't know that I would have the courage that you have, and I'll be honest. I'm a realist with everything that I do. I don't pull punches. I don't fake nothing. I don't know that I could have the same amount of courage that you do. And I'm sure it's reassuring in a way to the people that love you and don't want to lose you, but it still doesn't comfort them the fact of losing you. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, no, because you know what? When I like today, we go to the doctor, me and my wife,
Mhm.
and they're telling me what's going on, and I'm just sitting like, okay, I mean, I already expected this shit. I already knew it. You've been telling me this stuff for a long time. They just won't say it. You know what I mean? They
Yeah.
can't say it, but they
No, they can't.
they kind of like hint toward it. You know what I mean? And she straight up just says, we don't have. I can't give you a cure. You know what I mean? That's just pretty
Mhm.
much what I'm gonna be upfront and honest with you. And I told my wife, I said, look, you know, um, quit coming in here looking for a miracle because it's not going to
Mhm.
happen. This is what's
Mhm.
going on. I've accepted it a long time ago. You have to learn to accept it now instead of, you know, uh, keep hoping for a miracle. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
If you can accept now what's going to happen soon, not soon, but because I'm still healthy. Even the
Mhm.
doctors like you're still healthy. You know what I mean? You still look
Mhm.
good. I mean, you ain't losing weight or nothing like that. She goes, but you know, it's just pretty much they're only gonna postpone things, you know what I mean? And
Mhm.
it's like, okay, don't worry about it, you know what I mean? I'm still right here right now. And I tell
Yeah.
other people that same thing. Don't treat me like I'm dead because I'm not. I'm still right here.
Mhm.
You want to hang out with me? You know where I live. You want to talk to me? Give me a call. You know what I mean? Whatever. I'm still right here right now.
Mhm. Mhm.
So but again, going back to when I was younger and living the life that I lived, I was used to that, and I was ready to die. So
Mhm.
dying is not it doesn't worry me. I don't think about that. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
other people do. And the way I look at it, to be honest with you, is I kind of look at this as okay, I beat all this other shit. All these other
Mhm.
times that I should have been dead, I made it through that. And so here's something else, that life is gonna throw at me. Okay, well,
Mhm.
you try to take you out this way, try to take you out this way, and you still are standing right here. So here, I'm
Mhm.
gonna throw this at you now. Okay, well, I'm still right
Mhm.
here. You know what I mean? You're gonna have to. I told people if they want my life, they're gonna have to take it because I'm
Yeah.
not gonna give it.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm gonna keep on going and keep on going. I tell the doctor, whatever you want to do, I'll do. You want to do
And
radiation? I'll do it.
yeah. And to me, look, I don't know. This is the first time he and I we've been DMing each other back and forth for a while now. Um, but we've never been in any in-depth conversation. So I don't know how much you are into religion or spirituality and all that. But I'm gonna tell you, for me, I'm a religious person. I always say I'm a Christian, but I'm nobody else's definition of it. My relationship with God is personal. I don't judge others based on their relationship, but I do believe that every single thing that happens in our lives happens for a reason. This right here, this video is happening for a reason, and the fact that you are going through what you're going through and have the courage that you have, it's for people to see. And that's why, because initially Mike got at me and he was like, "Hey, how about we do a live?" And I thought about it and I said, I know this story is going to be powerful. And if we do a live, we're going to have to interact with people and only 1,000, 3,000 people are going to
Mm.
see it. Whereas if it's a video, hopefully this thing will be shared because there are so many people around the world. See, my platform goes around the world, not just the United States. And there's so many people that are affected by cancer that hopefully this video would get seen by a lot of people. And like I said, me personally, I believe God's put you in this position to strengthen others. Because I'm
You
telling you, it for me, like if I was to walk outside right now and get killed, hey, I'm fine with that. But if I was told, you have this is your expiration date,
I don't know if I would be as cool and collected as you. I'm just keeping it real.
Well, the thing is, like, when I went to go do my PET scan, like, last week, and there was 2 nurses there doing my blood, because I gotta go do blood every week, so they were one was trying to do my blood, and she's like, "Oh, shit, I blew out your vein. Let me call the other girl." So the other girl comes in, she's doing the other arm, and then, one of them was like, "Well, can I ask you what's going on?" I said, "Yeah, I have stage 4 cancer." And they were both, like, looking at me, and they were like, "Oh, shit, I'm sorry." I said, "For what?" I said, "Are you gonna live forever?" And she's like, "What?" And I said, "You're dying right now, just like I am. I'm just dying in a different way." I said, "But you know what? You can go outside right now and get hit by a car, and I'm still sitting right here." You know what I mean? I said, "I'm still alive." You know what I mean? So there's no need for you to feel sorry for me. You know what I mean? I'm still right here. You know what I mean? And she was like, "It's a good way to look at it." But there's the other part where, and I've talked about it in my videos too, is because I'm not religious. I don't have a religion. I don't believe in religion. You know what I mean? I'm an atheist. And a lot of people, I have a lot of friends that they're Christians and stuff like that, and they're like, "Hey man, you need to do this, you need to do that," and we're praying for you. It's like, okay, but I understand, I appreciate it, but your prayers are not working. Every time I go to the doctor, it's worse. You know what I mean? I said, but it's okay. I appreciate it. It's the thought that counts. I have nothing against you for doing that. You know what I mean? I appreciate you doing that. But I says, and I did it in my videos before too. I believe in karma, and I believe that when you do good things happen. You do bad things,
Absolutely.
bad things happen. You know what I mean? And so in my one of my videos, I put down one of my videos was about I can't remember what it was, but anyways, I feel that what I'm going through is because I'm paying for the shit that I did before. What I've done to other people's families and to other people, you know what I mean? You're gonna pay for it one day. Whether you're gonna pay for it in a good way or a bad way, whether you do good shit, you're gonna pay for it. You do bad things, you're gonna pay for it. So you're gonna pay for it one way or the other. You know what I mean? So for me, it's like, I said in my video, I deserved it.
Is that, excuse me, is that the video you stole something from that chick?
Yes, and I still
remember
have it
that.
Right
That was a good, yeah.
I still have it right here. It's sitting right over here.
That was a great video, man.
Her incident.
Yeah, and I want to say something because I get a lot of truckers that follow my channel, and they always want long videos. Mike's videos are very long. So those of you that want to hear some really like good stories and long stories, subscribe to this channel, man. But I remember that video, man. That thing was and the fact that you still have it all these years later, man. Hopefully you guys will go and check out all of his videos.
Yeah, that happened in 2000 and 2000, maybe around 2000. I stole a girl's insulin packet, her pouch, her little pouch. I thought it was her wallet, and I stole it. I went to her house and hung out with her for a little while. When she went to the restroom, I put it in my pocket, thinking it was her credit cards and her wallet. And then, she showed me to the door. I left, and I went outside thinking that, I got money, and opened it up, and it was her insulin. And I wanted to take it back, but I couldn't because I was like, I didn't want to, I didn't want to get caught, stealing from the chick. And so I left. And then when I hit her up, I wanted to see what was going on with her. I hit her up the next day, like, "Hey, how's everything going?" And she was like, she was in the hospital. She had went to the hospital that night because she couldn't find her insulin. And I felt like shit, you know what I mean? And so I have that little insulin packet with the insulin bottles and the syringes. I still have the whole thing since like around 2000. It's 2024 now, so I've been carrying this thing around for like 24 years. But it's all about like, hey, you're gonna pay for what you do, and that right there is like a reminder to me. Like, I keep that shit with me, and I've had it with me, and I've been through so much since then. You know what I mean? So many relationships and stuff that I've been through since 24 years, and I still have that little pouch. I keep it with me, and it'll always be there because it's just a reminder. You're gonna fucking pay for it. And not only that, but other things I've done in my life, you know what I mean, that I've never been caught for. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, and I said it in the video, I said, hey, you know what, for anybody that ever sees my videos and you know me from back in the day, and I've done something to you, or I've done something to one of your family members, just know that I didn't get away with it. Yeah, I'm paying for it now. So just, try to keep that in your mind. I'm paying for it right now. You know what I mean? It is what it is. And so that's why I don't look at it the way other people do. I say, hey, you know what? You fucked up. Karma's going to get you, and it's got you now. You know what I mean? There's nothing you can do about it. You're gonna go through this shit. You're gonna suffer through this shit. Not only that, but you go through life wanting this and wanting that, like for me or for Dubs, we wanted a better life, we wanted a home, we wanted cars, we wanted a good job, all these things that you want. You know what I mean? You're trying to fight and stay alive and try to get all that stuff. Well, it's like karma saying, hey, you know what? I'm gonna give you all that stuff you wanted. You're gonna have a good woman, you have a good, good life, you're gonna have a good job and all that stuff. I'm gonna give that to you, but I'm gonna take it away at the same time. You're gonna go through this, but you can have all this, but I'm gonna take it away from you again. But you can have it. That's the way I feel. Like I have all the stuff I ever wanted. And now it's like, okay, but it's like, okay, yeah, you have a good wife, but your wife's gonna watch you die now.
Yes.
You see what I mean? You can have it, but now this is what you get. You know what I mean? It's like, for me, it's like, okay, fuck it, because you're right. I did fuck up.
Yeah, it's like you hurt people, and now the suffering you're gonna have to endure is watching the ones that you love hurt for you. It's a cold thing. No, I really believe I've talked about it in so many videos, man. I really truly believe in energy. I believe the energy that you put out, you're gonna get probably tenfold. And that's the reason why I don't engage in like all the troll stuff. I let them have that, keep all that energy. And another thing, like what you were talking about, I met dudes that they were completely innocent, that were doing life. And a lot of them used to say, I didn't do this one, Holmes, but I'm doing time for the ones I got away with.
Yeah.
That's how they accepted it.
You're good, and that's how I accept this. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, you're gonna pay for it. You fucking did this to this person's family, or you did this to this person that didn't deserve that. You know what I mean? And so you're gonna pay for it, one way or the other. You're gonna pay for it. So that's the way I look at it. Like, you know what? Hey, I'm paying for it. I'll go through it. You know what I mean? And I tell my friends the same. I told my friends, my family, my wives, I'm glad it's me and not you.
Yes,
because I can deal with it. You know what I mean? I can deal with it. There's other people that couldn't deal with it. They go through some kind of depression. I never got no depression from this. I only broke down one time, and I didn't break down like I was sniveling. It's when they first told me, I was already prepared for it because I kind of figured something was going on. So when they told me, like, hey, you got stage 4 cancer, yeah, I brought a tear to my eyes, but I wasn't there sniveling. And I remember after I left that doctor appointment, me and my wife got in the car. And I told her, I was sitting in the car for a minute, just sitting there, like thinking about this shit, like, fuck, okay, this was going on. And I said to my wife, that's it. And she's like, what's it? And I said, I'm not gonna feel sorry for myself. I'm not gonna sit here crying over it. That's it. You seen me break down for a second, but that's it. Now I gotta figure out what's gonna happen from now, because afterwards, with my wife, you know what I mean? As far as, what's gonna happen with her afterwards. And luckily for me, I had life insurance. So if anything happens, she has the money, you know what I mean? And I told my wife, everything goes to you. You know what I mean? Because my kids, I have kids too. My kids are 5 kids, they're all grown. Some of them are like in their early 30s to their early 20s. I said, look, if my kids' lives ain't together by the time I'm gone, that's their problem. You're the one who has to start your life over again. You have to start your life over again, not my kids. You know what I mean? So I said, everything goes to you. My money goes to you. If whatever life insurance comes, that's for you to start your life all over again. You don't have to give it to my kids. They should have their life together by then. Yeah. So it's tough because we got to have those conversations. You see what I mean? About who's getting what. You know what I mean?
And those are conversations she would rather not have, but you have to have them.
I have to. And I'm only 49. I ain't even 50 yet. I'll be 50 in October. You know what I mean? And I'm already, we were talking about the other night. I said, hey, man, when it happens, my dad's going to come. He's going to get the bike. He's taking it. This chain that I had probably like 20 something years is solid silver. I told my wife, I said, give it to your son. He can have it. All my other jewelry, all my other stuff that I have, my brother's taking it. You know what I mean? But whatever else after that, you do whatever you want. You know what I mean? But this is what I want. You know what I mean? But it's a tough thing because you got to talk about funeral arrangements and shit like that. I mean, that is like a conversation that's like, well, not for me, but for her to have that conversation. You know what I mean? For me, it's like, I'm not going to be here. I ain't got a plan.
That's exactly what I say. I've been asked that. What do you want when you die? Do you want to be buried? I'm like, I'm dead. That's for you guys.
Yeah.
You decide what you want. I'm not here anymore. You
Yeah,
know,
so
I get that part. Yeah.
yeah, I don't feel nothing no more. You know, that's up to you guys. You know what I mean? I would prefer to be cremated. You know what I mean? But you know, they do what they're gonna do. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to feel it no more. I'm not gonna feel no sadness. I'm not gonna remember nothing. I won't be here. I just won't exist anymore. I only
Mm-hmm.
exist in the memory. So you guys
Mm-hmm.
do what you're gonna do. You know what I mean? But it's like, you know, do what you want with the rest of the stuff. You know what I mean? It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
mean nothing to me after that. You know what I mean? So, you know, but it's kind of, you know, for the first, I say 2 months, once I found out about the cancer, I was sat up every night and just over and over and over again for, like I said, about 2 months, month and a half, 2 months, planning my own funeral.
Mm.
What do I want? What
Yeah.
music do I want? You know what I mean? Where do I want it to be? Where do I want to go? What do I want to do? And it
Mm-hmm.
took me. I would stay up at night. I couldn't sleep. They had to give me a fucking ambulance because I'm up every night.
Mm-hmm.
Just what's gonna happen? You know what I mean? I already know I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna die. So, you know, what do I want? And then that shit went away. But then it came back again a few months later, a few months ago. And again, I started to sit up all night because I know it's coming. Don't know when, but I know it's coming. And so I got to
Mm-hmm.
think about that shit again. Like, okay, what do I want? What kind of music do I want them to play? I got to let my wife know. So I told my wife, hey, this is what I want. When it happens, this is what I want. And again, for me, it's not a hard conversation, but it's
Mm-hmm.
got to be tough on her. And one thing about her is she has never broke down the whole
Mm.
time, not once.
Mm.
Has she ever broke down crying and all that shit like that? She just takes it because she's strong. You know what I mean? She just takes it as it comes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
does on
Yeah.
her own, I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
ask.
Yeah.
Again,
Mm.
if I do it, if I'm to do it, you ain't gonna see me do it. That's the way
Mm-hmm.
I am. And you
Yeah.
know, but that's the way like you and me and other people like us that grew up on the street. If you're gonna do it, nobody's gonna see you do it. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna let you see me do it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna walk out the house with a smile on my face again. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? So that's the way that I have to deal with it. But I've
Yeah.
been dealing with shit like that my whole life.
Yeah. I want to make sure because I want this. We're gonna try to go just probably about another 5 minutes. I want to keep this around a half hour for a reason because I don't want people to see it's too long and be like, I don't have time. My truckers will watch it, but I want to make sure that I give Mike this opportunity to talk. And I want you guys again. You see it right under my name. There's his channel. You see it on the bottom of the screen. I want to make sure you guys go subscribe to his channel and get these stories. You know, and look at this man's courage. And I want you to ask yourself, could you have that same courage? You know, something that you talked about, and I dig it, where you said, you know, hey, my kids are going to do whatever they're going to do, but my lady, you know, she gets everything. And it reminds me, I remember a homie, and I'm going to say his name. I usually don't say names. Bobby from Verdugo. And we were in Pelican Bay Beef Facility. And he was telling me, he was like, and I had never even thought of it like that. And ever since that day, I always did. He said I think he had a son and a daughter, but I know for a fact he had a son. But anyways, he had to tell his kids, like, hey, check this out. The way they would speak to their mom, he would tell them, check this out. That's your mom, but that's my lady.
Mm-hmm.
No man lets anyone speak to their lady any type of way. And it reminded me of that when you said that right now, like your relationship with your lady is special. Your kids, that's a different type of relationship. But you just reminded me of that. That's cool right there.
Yeah, like I said, I told my wife, all the money that comes from the life insurance, that's for you. You got to start all over again. You know what I mean? It's gonna be harder on you than anybody else because you know she's gonna go through my shit. You know what I mean? My kids ain't gonna be over here going through my clothes and all the things that she's got to do. You know what I mean? And her life's got to start over. She's got to figure out all these bills and all that stuff like that. You know what I mean? So it's that the money is there for you, and that's it. You don't have to give nothing to nobody and shit. You know, that's for you. And so, you know, but these are the kind of conversations you have to have. And again, you know, the whole point of the video is that if you know, for our people, you know, for our people, and even for like we were talking before, for the Black community, we don't never go to the doctor.
Nope.
We just let things go and let things go. Drink some 7-Up and some Vicks and some soup, and you're going to be all good. And that's not the case. You know what I mean? If you're having some kind of issue, you should just, if you have insurance, go to the doctor. If you don't, then there's also other options, you know, but don't let it go. Don't let it be. I have good insurance. I'm a Teamster. I'm a union member. I have good insurance, but I just refuse to go to the doctor. And when I finally went to the doctor, they hit me with you have stage 4 cancer, and I probably could have took care of that 8 months before if I would have went to the doctor in the first place, and I didn't. So that's what the whole purpose of me doing my videos, and then even doing this video with Dubs right now, is to, you know, if you go once a year, that's all you gotta do is go once a year. Go to the doctor, get checked up. If you want to do a scan, do a scan. You know what I mean? And scan, and they'll do the PET scan or the CT scans and all that shit like that. And if you're good, you're good. But if not, then they might catch something in the beginning stages where they can help you. For me, there is no help. There is no help. I just got to deal with it. And so, you know, you don't want to be in this situation where you're going to have to be planning your funeral and doing shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yes. At a young age.
At a young age. Yeah, at a young age. I'm not that old. I'm only 49.
And I'm going to say this. Hopefully you don't take this the wrong way. Whenever you go, your lady's going to still be a young woman. And I'm going to tell you right now, ain't nobody going to replace you.
Yeah, I hope not.
That's no, there's not. There's nobody. I can see it already. And that's the thing that's going to be hard on her. You know what I mean? Like no man is ever going to stack up to you in her eyes. You know what I'm saying?
And there's one more thing too that I wanted to say, you know, for people that, you know, they see me, I drink beer. Yeah, I drink beer, I drink whiskey. You can see it all on my back walls here. And yeah, I did have my little vape thing here and shit like that. You know, I tell people I'm the one that's dying, so let me live the way I want to live.
Yeah. There you go.
You know what I mean? It's like, hey, if I'm already gonna go, then what am I gonna do? Eat broccoli every day and go jogging? Nah, man, I'm gonna live my life the way I want to live it. I'm gonna live it happily. I'm gonna do the things that I want to do. Hang out with my friends. I ride a Harley. I go and do things like that. And yeah, I drink beer and I eat fucked up food. And yeah, but I'm on my last leg.
Yeah, you're living.
I'm gonna do what I want to do.
There you go.
So
and that's how we're gonna end it.
Like, you know, so don't take it so personal. Like, oh, this dude, he's drinking. And say, yeah, but yeah, I'm already out the door. Don't worry about that. You know what I mean? Just let me live my life because I'm the one that's dying.
There you go. And with that, we're going to bring this to a close. That's 31 minutes. I appreciate the time you spent with us, the story. Hopefully people will go to his channel, subscribe to his channel, check out his videos, and get yourself checked, man. That's what's important. You want to say anything before we go?
No, I appreciate you. I appreciate you helping me out. You know, all these times. I mean, I look at all the stuff that I have here on my table and stuff like that, and I spend a lot of money on this stuff. You know, and so because you know, I mean, I say, oh well, you know, I can't be doing this shit with my phone. You know what I mean? So I'm buying different things, and you're giving me all these ideas of what to buy. You know what I mean? And I enjoy doing it. You know, and so I put a lot of money into this shit. You know, and
we have the same mic. He gets at me. How do I do this?
The Rode Dual caster thing here. I got different cameras and stuff.
I haven't even got that yet. So you're balling right there.
Right here. I
there you go.
Like $400 for this damn thing. You know, I don't even know how to use it.
I don't even know. The ones I look at are like 8. But anyways,
so I don't even know how to use it. You know, but I appreciate you for doing that, man. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I appreciate you too. All right, you guys, everybody, please be safe, be smart, and tell the ones you love that you love them.